G'day, I'm Brett Hooker and my channel is I Love Dirt. So one of the hardest things about camping when you go off grid is what are you going to do about the toilet. And I can tell you for years we just stuck campsites that had bathrooms in it because we weren't confident about what we were going to do with chemical toilets. And one day somebody else in our friend network showed us how easy it was to use these things, and it broke the voodoo. So I thought I'd do a video on how you go about emptying your toilet. It works for any of the chemical toilets that you can buy from a camping store. And let me just say, once I knew what it was all about, I realized it was really, really simple. It's not a sticky job. And it's really something that once you've done it once, you realize that, you know, that's actually not that bad. And it then opens up camping because now you can go off grid, you know, multiple days off grid, no problem. And know that you've got a toilet that you and your family and your friends can use. So let's go through the process. First thing, I do always carry some gloves with me. That's just a cleanliness thing. So just carry a box of them in the car anyway, because there's all sorts of jobs that you might want gloves for, like when you're cleaning up the car and doing repairs or whatever else. All right, so our toilet's kept here. Video on that, you can watch that on. All right, so I just take the toilet out. Now, there's two sections to your toilet. Top section actually it's the flush tank, so that's your clean water. If you've used an extra chemical in your flush tank too to help with cleaning and fragrance, then you can empty that out in the dump. I've already emptied mine. It's just plain water, so I've already emptied that one out. You take your flush tank off. So most toilets will have some sort of lock at the back. That's the flush tank. That goes to the side. And here's the part where we're going to empty. And they'll all have some sort of tube like that. That's the part that you're going to point towards the dump point and empty out through. Now, a couple of tips. Right, if you've got anything at all, now these are just spare chemicals that I keep in there, but if you've got anything at all in here, take it out, because the minute you take it near that dump point, anything you think will be okay won't be okay and will end up down the dump point, including the cap. Do not put this cap anywhere near the dump point, okay? Because these things go down. They're only about $13 to replace, but these things go down all the time. That still needs to be rinsed off, so I'm going to put that over the side of the hose. But that's the cap. Alrighty. So what we'll do, I'll empty this one out myself right now because this is the one with the business in it. So I'll empty this one out so that you don't have to see that. But I'm going to rinse it out with some water. These dump points always have a hose. So I'm going to rinse it out with some water and I'll show you how you use the button here to relieve pressure. So I'll just go ahead and do this one. Now, all your dump points have a hose. So make sure you use the hose and just rinse everything down the dump point. Now, the really nice thing about the you use with these toilets is they really take the nasty fragrance away. I'm not a big fan of the fragrances, but the chemicals you use really do clean that up. So I've done my initial empty. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some fresh water in there and give it a rinse out. If you're enjoying the content we're producing on the I Love Dirt channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the like button to let other people know what we're doing and for you to stay up to date with the content we're producing. All right, so I've just put some rinse water in there. I'm going to give it a bit of a shake around. I'm going to pour that one in. With these tanks, this is the Thetford one. The different models have something similar, but I've got a press button there. That actually relieves the pressure, lets air flow in when you're emptying it. So you hold it, you press that button in, it'll allow it to flow out much more easily. So that's got some rinse water in it. So I'm just going to give that a shake around. And yeah, all you're going to basically do is point that outlet down towards the dump point. I'm going to press my button in. And it empties out like that. I'm going to give that one another rinse. I'm going to rinse the tap out as well. Just make sure you don't drop that tap down there because you're not getting it back out. So I've just put some fresh water in there to rinse out the tank. So I've got some rinse water in there so I can give it a bit of a swish around, just make sure I've caught everything. Now when I empty it out, all of these tanks will have some sort of press button on them, and that's a pressure release that actually lets air get into the tank as you're emptying it out. So that's ready to go. So I'm just going to point the outlet towards the dump point, press my button down. There we go. And that's all done. So I'll just turn my outlet around. I'll get my cap. Put my cap back on. There we go. And that's all emptied and rinsed and ready to go. All right. Got my spare chemicals back in there. And these clip on at the front, so I'll just put the rinse tank back on. And there you go. All emptied, ready for next time. I do like to put a tiny little bit of chemical back in the two tanks just to keep it fragrant. It doesn't do anything, but it just does help with the smells next time I open it up. But that is good to go. I'll pop that back into my bag. And then that goes back into the storage locker. Goes on top. And we're all done there. The last thing I'll do is I'm just going to run a little bit more water down the dump point and remember to close the top. All done. Close it up, all tickety-boo. So as I said, it was something we weren't sure about and we avoided for a little while. But once one of our friends showed us how to do it, we realised it's no big deal. It's nice, quick and easy to do. These dump points are really clean and easy to use. So definitely something to look into. The chemical toilets aren't expensive, a couple $100 and you're into it. You've got one. And it just allows you to go further with your camping. You can go into these off-grid campsites knowing that you've got a bathroom for, as I say, for you and your friends and family to use. Thanks everyone. We'll see you again. Cheers.